What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Torino Career Mode. This is episode number 78, and we start today's episode off by officially ending last season. Now, you would have seen this in the last episode as well, where we beat Manchester United in the Champions League final by 2-1. That was the last episode, and of course, I pressed X, and I didn't realise the season was going to end in May and not in June. So, yeah, you probably saw this in the last episode. Just in case you didn't, we won the Champions League final. We beat them by 2-1, and then we officially ended the season. I had to go back and play it again, basically, because the season ended and I couldn't show you the squad report. But yeah, in today's episode we are starting the new season. It's our fourth and final one in Torino Career Mode. We start off by seeing that we've got two players coming in to join us on pre-contracts, Lucas and John Anthony Brooks. Also, our season's budget is £21.5 million. Now, in the last episode as well, I did show you the budget we were going to end up with, and again, it seems like we've lost a bit of money, which is a bit of a shame. We've actually got a lower budget than last season. Last season we started off with 22 million. Now we've got £500,000 less, which is a bit of a shame. Because, you know, you would have thought it would go gradually up and not gradually down as the years go by and you become more successful. But that's just how it is, unfortunately. And following that as well, you can see the player's stats. And also, I offered a contract to Danilo just because he's not really too happy here. He seems to want to leave the club. We've offered him a couple of contracts already. He's declined them both. We're offering him a new one though, and we'll wait and see what he says. And as you can see here, he says he's going to sign it because I gave him a bit more money, and he says that's totally fine. So Danilo is going to stay. That was my first piece of action I had to get done. You know, get Danilo to sign a new contract, because even though he's got a couple of years left, he was probably going to end up on the transfer list, and I didn't want to see that happen. I wanted him to stay here and be happy here, and that's exactly what's going to happen. He's an 84 rated right back, and you know, presumably one of the best in the game right now. Still following out, we had a youth scout report, I should say. All these players from Brazil and Italy, but all these players look really, really average. A couple of you have pointed out in the comments, I've said it a few times too, the players we got from this year's worth of scouting, that's the year's worth of scouting done now. The players we got from this year's worth of scouting have been very, very poor, sadly, but that's just how it is. And also, we do have a youth scout report here. You can see how the players are getting on in our academy. A couple of players are going to get promoted. Those are Alberto Marantonio, the goalkeeper, 70-74 overall right now, and also 69-73 overall for Camiliano, who's a right winger. So these two guys are going to come into our first team, hopefully, if they sign their contracts, and they will sign pro deals, because even though they won't get too many minutes, it just adds a bit more squad depth, and it means we can probably use them at some stage and see how good they could have turned out to be had the series continued. Still, Danilo signs a contract, then gets a training injury, which is great. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not, but following that, we had our objectives got as well. For the Champions League, they want us to reach the knockout stages, which is kind of surprising. And as for the league, I never got that objective, but it is win the league title. And as for the cup, it's win the cup again. So basically, this year, as I mentioned in the last episode, it's all about the defence of the trophies. You know, for some reason I never got sent a league objective, but, you know, we want to win the league title again, obviously, for 3 years in a row. As for the cup, you know, we want to win that again. And as for Europe, this is really interesting, but I wasn't allowed to get any higher aims than reach the semi-final, which is odd because in our first season in Champions League football, we reached the semi-finals, and then last season we won the cup. So for some reason, the board wouldn't let me say that I want to win the tournament again. We won it last year, but the board think that's unrealistic. So I asked for some money anyway. They gave us £1.9 million because the budget this season I was hoping to make one major signing and probably leave it at that. But with that budget, you know, £20 million is not that much, you know, or 21.5 million, I should say. It's not that much. So I wasn't really happy about that. The board gave us £1.9 million. It's better than nothing, but, you know, it's still a little bit frustrating. Still following out, here are the stats of the youth players we've just gone ahead and promoted, Camiliano and also Marantonio as well. You can see how they currently look right now with their potential tags as well. Camiliano has the potential to be special, which is great. They won't get too much game time, but they're here now. They might play some minutes, and it'll be fun to see how well they do. And also, Gabbiadini came to us and said he'd like a new contract, which probably isn't going to happen because he's still stuck at 80 overall. I don't think he's going to progress anymore, despite the fact he is a first-team attacking midfielder. But yeah, I don't think he's going to get a new contract. So if he goes, he goes. If he stays, he stays. He'll probably get put on a transfer list because he's complained already a few times now. But we'll have to wait and see. I'm probably in the market to sign someone else anyway. But either way, Gabbiadini, I just said I'm not going to give you a new one, and there you go. And also, Spurs wanted a Mobile. Spurs wanted to sign a Immobile, Pochettino came in and I asked for a ridiculous amount of money. They said we'd give you £13.5 million, and I just thought, forget it, we're not going to get what we want out of you for Immobile, because obviously Immobile, he's not the star striker anymore. Dybala came in, then Aguero came in, so obviously Immobile sort of dropped down to second choice, really, both of those players, but he's still a helpful handful of goals, so I don't really want to sell him unless we get a ridiculous amount of money, which obviously isn't going to happen. So Immobile's going to stay, and there you go. And following out, we had a pre-season friendly against Derby County. Janssen got injured, but to be honest, as I said before, the result for me in pre-season friendlies never, ever, ever matters. I really don't care about it, and there you go. And also, one of our young goalkeepers is going to join Latina on a season-long loan. Alex Merritt is on his way there, and that's totally fine with me. And Latina have an awesome badge, don't they? But still, following out, how about this? A bid for Sergio Aguero, the main man up top who won us the Champions League final with 2 goals. Yeah, he's under a transfer bid from Bayern Munich. They put in a bid of £68 million, which is a huge, huge amount for our striker, 29 years old, but of course 91 overall. I said, listen, I really like the guy. I want £100 million. That's what I'm asking for Sergio Aguero, despite the fact he may start decreasing in a season or two. And Bayern Munich came back and said, we'll give you 70.5. And I was like, well, that's a lot. That's a lot of money, obviously. That's going to be a record sale, £4 million or just under. That's £3.9 million more than what we sold Dybala for. But I said, I still don't think it's enough. So I said, give me £85 million, Guardiola, and you can take him. And as you'll see, Pep comes back to us in just a moment's time and does say £85 million is enough. Because after this pre-season friendly with Deportivo, which once again, we end up not getting a result. We lost it late on. As you can see, Bayern Munich came back to us and said, yep, we'll match £85 million and we'll take Sergio Aguero to the Allianz Arena. So Aguero is on his way to Bayern Munich, is on his way to Germany to join up at the Allianz Arena with his new teammates. And to me, like, I don't know what to say, because, you know, last season we sold Dybala, who was our main striker, with £66.6 million. We replaced him with Aguero. This season, are we going to do the same thing again? Are we going to replace our star striker up top with another one and just constantly go through the cycle, making profit after profit year after year? Or this season, should we try and change the whole team? You know, should we try and reinvest that £85 million, not on one player, but on, you know, like several players, you know, like 3 or 4, or maybe even just 2 or 3 world-class ones? What are we going to do with that £85 million? Because it's almost certain now that Aguero is going to leave, go and sign with Bayern Munich. And, you know, I don't really know what to do with that money, really, because I do like the idea of constantly doing it year after year, even though it's our final season. Let's just say hypothetically we're going to continue. I do like the idea of year after year, just, you know, selling on a player, making a ton of profit, buying another player, then selling him on the next year, making more profit, and then buying another player. I like the idea of constantly changing that cycle, making it all fresh, making it all, you know, all change all the time, basically, and trying out loads of different players. But either way, like, I don't really know, to be honest, because Aguero, you know, to score us those 2 goals in the Champions League final, I'm thinking, are we going to regret this sale? You know, selling Dybala was not actually that big of a deal, because his overall was 83 at the time he got sold, and, you know, he wasn't really established as a world-class striker, even though he looked like he was on his way to being one. Whereas with Aguero, he already is. He's 91 overall. He's going to be one of the best players in the world in terms of the overall, and now he's gone to Bayern Munich for £85 million. So here's a question for you guys: will I regret selling Aguero? Comment below and let me know, because I don't know whether I've made the right decision here. When I sold Dybala, I was like, I've definitely made the right choice. £66.6 million, we can reinvest and buy a much better player. With Aguero, I don't think there are any going to be any natural strikers out there that have a higher overall. So whoever we buy is, you know, most likely going to be a step down. So have I made the wrong choice by selling Aguero? Do let me know in the comments. What do you guys think about it? Or are we going to pull it out the bag once again, make a couple of great signings, or maybe even one world-class headline signing? Who knows? Maybe Ronaldo could come to the Stadio Olimpico de Torino, and it will turn out to be okay. Let me know in the comments. What do you guys think? Have I regret selling Aguero? Or are we going to do some great business once again and see the team benefit massively through the sale of one of the star players? Still following that, it was time to look for replacements for Sergio Aguero. You know who the number one was: Paulo Dybala. Of course, I'd love to get him back at the Stadio Olimpico de Torino. Marco Reus, of course, we looked at last season but couldn't get hold of. Neymar as well, because again, as I said before, we're not always looking for strikers who are naturally listed as strikers in the game, but players who can play in a range of positions. Neymar and Reus could both play up top, in my opinion. Roberto Firmino, he's a new Liverpool signing in real life. He's got some great stats. He could definitely play striker with those two. So again, when I look for these players, do keep in mind, don't have to be listed as a striker. I can play players out of position. I've got no problem doing that. So Roberto Firmino, looking at him too. Also Griezmann, he got loads and loads and loads of comments in the last season when I sold Paulo Dybala. Wouldn't mind getting hold of him, but I think Atletico Madrid might ask for a bit too much for what I'm willing to pay really for an 84 rated striker, but you never know. So Griezmann, putting a bit of him as well. Also two players here from Liverpool, one of which is now a Manchester City player, Raheem Sterling. Can you imagine him coming to the Stadio Olimpico de Torino? That would be incredible, wouldn't it? Sterling, 84 rated, 22 years old, attacking midfielder, can play on the wings, can play through the middle, and of course a striker as well. Wouldn't mind getting hold of Sterling into the club. Also Daniel Sturridge, of course, another Liverpool boy, or in the game of course. Sturridge too as a striker. He'd be a really good choice for pace and great clinical finishing too. Sturridge coming in, 84 rated, 27 years old. Wouldn't mind him replacing Sergio Aguero. Also as well, possibly, how about this, Gareth Bale coming in, of course, can play on the wings, can play through the middle, and of course, wouldn't mind playing up top with those stats as well. So Gareth Bale coming in, he would be an unreal signing, 89 overall, 28 years old. Would have to wait and see what Rafa Benitez says. And also as well, how about this, Thomas Müller. I said about him last year, I really do rate Thomas Müller. I love how energetic he is and how much drive he has. I'd love to sign Thomas Müller. Also a player who can play really anywhere, to be honest, in the offensive positions. Wouldn't mind signing Thomas Müller, and we wait and see what Bayern Munich say, as they've gone ahead and signed Aguero. Maybe we can sign Müller off them. Also Dos Santos too. Wouldn't mind getting hold of him. And there's also one final player I look at as well, but I've forgotten the name of him, but you'll see it in just a moment's time. But that does end the episode, guys. Diego Costa. That does end the episode, guys, so thanks very much for watching the video. Really hope you have enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about the Aguero sale. Have I made the wrong choice there, and would I regret selling him? But thanks for watching the video regardless. If you did enjoy the video, then please do leave a like. It's much appreciated. It really does help my channel out. And I'll see you for the next episode of Torino Career Mode very soon, where we'll be making a new signing to possibly replace Sergio Aguero.